listening to MCPodcasting.
3, 2, 1. What's happening, everyone?
Right.
Welcome back to the greatest podcast you've never heard of. MC Podcasting, episode 119.
Fucking hell.
119 episodes.
Yeah.
Was any of them good?
There's one or two in there that are not bad. Like, this is the first episode we've done in weeks and weeks and weeks where
By
it's
ourselves?
just been us. Yeah. So,
Fucking hell.
don't know how I need to talk to you about, to be fair.
Because we don't want to talk about football.
I know, because we've done like a 45-minute chat before we recorded.
More of a rant on it.
Yeah.
We both ranted about Man United.
yeah.
So we're going to stay away from United this time. We're just going to talk about
Life.
life itself. So COVID.
Oh,
Fucking
no,
not COVID.
no,
Not COVID as well. Not COVID.
I know.
So I started watching The Boys on
Okay.
Amazon Prime. You've heard of it, yeah?
Yeah.
We did a reaction to one of the Slipknot videos
Yeah.
that actually was kind of fucking advertising it. Fuck, it's great so far. I've only been one episode in, but I've already this is going to be good. So the way the idea is, like, it sets up like there's like a bunch of superheroes around the world, and they're basically like a federation now. But basically they're always trying to save people and all too, but it's all kind of constructed to save people. It's all about publicity and all too, and about making movies, kind of like the way the Avengers is now, like the way Marvel is now. But they kind of have it in a way that they actually are superheroes, but it's all about how much you brought in last year. Or like that superhero brought in like 4.5 billion last year. He's the head of it all too. But it's actually really dark so far. Like, a few people got murdered in it by the superheroes. And so a lot of people were.
It's something that I need to watch, but I've just been putting off. I don't know why. It's just starting a new show's hard for me. Like, it's just it takes it's a big commitment. Like, sometimes I'd rather just stick a wee movie on, and then after 2 hours you're finished, and then check out, and then.
Because imagine, I always feel like if you invest your time into a TV show, like a season or two
Pays
seasons,
off, like, it does.
well, sometimes it doesn't pay off.
I know,
Then you
no.
feel like you wasted your time. Like, do you? I know
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I was gonna go back to Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones is still one of the best TV shows ever made in terms of as a whole, from the first season to the last. Of the first 4 seasons were just fucking ridiculous, but then like it still doesn't sit well with me.
Can't stand it.
I don't think I'll ever watch it again
I know.
because of that. Why, like Sopranos, The Wire, The Shield, Breaking Bad, you definitely go back because you know it ends in a certain not that you want a happy ending, because The Shield is not a happy ending, but it ends in a way you feel satisfied for the characters and satisfied as a TV show as a whole. Like, it ends the way it should end rather than ending just to please the fans. Why Game of Thrones ended to please no one. Maybe that was their ploy the whole time.
I know we've spoken at length about Game of Thrones, but you're right. I was late to Game of Thrones as well. Like,
Same,
I binged it, like,
Aye.
and I was loving it. I fucking
You
loved
binged
it.
like the last 7 seasons of it?
I binged. I watched the first. Was it 7 seasons in total?
8 seasons in
8
total?
seasons in total. I watched all 7 just in time for the 8th.
Yes,
to come
you
out.
did.
It
You
took
didn't
me like
watch
2
it.
months. I hadn't watched it, and then I became like this mad, because you would, like, there's so much content you're consuming, and it was fucking amazing. But even when I was watching it, I knew the season before there was a drop off of quality. Like, it was getting worse. Like,
I can remember telling people that, me, and it just coincided with them as they started writing it, because they caught up with the books in season 6 or 5, wasn't it? So they basically started writing it. Obviously, I think there's some storylines that carried on that were from the book, but majority of the time was
them making it up.
yeah. Obviously, they sat with George R.R. Martin and spoke to him about where the characters are going to go. So I think he agreed and all that. There, it's not like they made it up, but I felt like it became a TV show then. You know why? Before it was this real, like, it didn't fit any sort of TV show that we watched before in the past. Like, it had so much dialogue, so much characters. It's almost like it was so hard to keep up with. Even now, I've watched it all. I still find it hard to remember certain characters because there's so much of them, and that's what made it so good, so different to your standard TV show. Like, most TV shows, you have five main characters, maybe 10 like smaller characters. This had like 30 main characters.
Yeah, but then the thing why people love Game of Thrones is because it was so unpredictable. I mean, the character could die any second, and then the last season, you had these main characters who were fighting like an undead army, and you knew they were never going to die. There was no, like, it's like it turned into a movie where it was like all these guys getting backed up against the wall and they all survived. I'm like, that's not Game of Thrones. Some of them would have died. It's like, it's not Game of Thrones.
And then it's almost like someone had this graph where it showed you like the amount of words per minute per Game of Thrones, and basically it started off like right up here, say this is the graph here, and then over time as the seasons went on it got less and less and less. And I remember thinking that even the last season when like they're trying to explain big massive important plots, they almost cut away and don't show the people reacting to the scene or reacting to the news. It's like, but you want to see that. That's what you want to see. You want to see the emotion. You want to see the satisfaction of finding out that fucking Jon Snow is fucking a Targaryen.
Yeah.
But like everyone was always told off scene, or the ones who word told us all new, Tyrion.
Yeah,
Tyrion, he knew. He's like, how did you know? Like, you know, I mean, like, we didn't get a satisfaction ending.
Yeah, it was piss poor in it. I with TV shows, I love, like, there's some amazing TV shows, but it has always been a problem with mine. Even TV shows that I'm really enjoying, I find it really hard to go back to because it is such a commitment.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the easier, like the wee shitty TV shows that you can just fire on are easier to watch. You just stick fucking anything on, like South Park or fucking Friends or just something that's
is there
easy.
Is there a TV show that you've watched like several times?
Yeah, I've watched Breaking Bad about 3 times all the way through.
Really?
I've watched Dexter quite a lot all the way through, but again, that's just so easy watching. That's really good.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of like nice wee BBC shows and stuff that I've been watching. Like I finished The Fall, which wasn't amazing, but I really enjoyed it. Like just stuff that's on
Made in Belfast.
the iPlayer. Yeah, it's made in Belfast, but there's just things on like the iPlayer and stuff that
I like BBC, to be fair, for making TV shows. Like Luther is really good. Obviously, everyone loves Peaky Blinders. That's BBC in it.
BBC. Yeah, I fell off that.
I never got into that there, but everyone loves it. And
They make some good stuff, like.
and they did the Sherlock series with Benedict Cumberbatch, which were amazing. What the fuck's going on here?
I don't know. It's all good.
Jesus, I'll shit myself.
I know, I was wondering, I've just seen that, there was a corner of my eye. Sorry.
This is happening way too often now, to be fair. We need to fucking sort this out.
I don't know.
I don't know how to sort it out though.
I don't know, because the equipment's fine, like, it seems to be fine.
Yeah, we're stressing it too much. We're doing too much.
Doing too much output.
Yeah, too much input.
Well, here, the channel's growing reasonably well, like, it's...
Yeah, this is our best month of downloads, and it's only like 2 weeks in, 20th of September today.
Yeah. We've had some sort of high profile guests on for us anyway. What's been your favourite?
So far? I think
they've all been good.
They've all been really good. The reason I'm picking this guy is because I've been such a fanboy for him for years.
Paddy Barnes?
Yeah, Paddy Barnes.
Paddy Barnes.
No, Paddy Barnes. No, not even Paddy Barnes. And I actually like Paddy Barnes' podcast, and his podcast is really good. But it was Jar Williams for me, just because like. No disrespect to Paddy Barnes. Paddy Barnes is a local person, and I've walked past him a bunch of times, and I know people who know him. So he's not that far detached from us. I feel like we're one friend away from him. Why Jar Williams? We're
a lifetime away from.
We're live, and then remember he's friends with Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy's friends with Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
we're 3 degrees off Joe Rogan.
No, yeah, I enjoyed it. Well, I really enjoyed making that one, but that was stressful, obviously, because
that was tough.
But that was the first time we ever interviewed someone where we actually had to go away and do a proper research, pretty much read a book.
Yeah, read a book and watch a TV show.
Watch a TV show, get them on.
He was the first person who came on who we didn't know.
Yeah,
because like, I brought on my friends like who you didn't know, but I knew them, or like vice. No, I don't think you brought anyone on.
No, I brought myself on.
Yeah, that was pretty bad actually, that one. Anyway, but yeah, so he was the first person we didn't really, and it was through Skype, and it was I was definitely nervous as fuck.
I was, but then my favourite one so far was the Banterflix one actually last week, because I think it's because it's my interests. Like I love movies, and those guys are really passionate with film, and I'm like I could just discuss movies all day. So
and it was the first podcast we didn't prepare for.
Yeah,
we had no questions. Usually we have talking points and things we want to ask him. We didn't ask him anything.
We just talked.
Well, we did ask him shit, but we didn't really have things planned out. You know, I
enjoyed that conversation because it was a good. Like those guys were great as well. Like they were really knowledgeable about film, and it's made me go and subscribe to their stuff, and I'm listening to their podcast now.
Yeah, true.
So it actually it's like I just love talking film, and the fact that with someone there that has the same interests as I know you love talking about movies as well, but it's probably not your top tier thing that you talk about.
Not.
But it is for me.
For them, they knew their stuff, and it's almost good to get a different perspective on the film industry and stuff, and such a positive, because I feel recently I've been quite negative in the film industry and films coming out, and also like the cinemas. I have this real dark feeling that the cinemas are going to close down and never open again.
I see. I do think something along that lines as well, but you just have to think that I was listening to a podcast that talked about the film industry and the cinemas and what could happen, and they actually brought it back to the last pandemic. Like the Spanish flu, because apparently
same thing happened, and all the movie theaters were putting out we're cleaning, there's social distancing and blah blah blah, but people they nearly closed down because people wouldn't go to them. But then again, the person that was talking about this on the podcast, it was the John Campea show, was going through like how the cinema evolved. It was like the movies basically they got through the last pandemic, and then what happened was people went to the cinema because they realised
the quality of watching stuff in your house was awful. You had a black and white TV, so going to see a big screen was a big thing. So the cinemas just had that. That was their main thing. We've got this in a big screen. But then TVs got better. So then the cinema were like, right, we need to get surround sound. We need to get fucking HD this. So then it got to the stage where they've evolved so much to the point where you can now have a home theater, but still going to the cinema is so much better because the quality is so much better. So now this is just another challenge for the cinema. The cinema now is going to change because it has to evolve.
Has to change,
but we just don't know what it's going
has to
to
adapt.
into.
Yeah, it's like a. But it's also like, so why are people going to the cinema for?
Yeah,
I think that's the question you ask them. Are they going for the new movies or for the comfort? Because you can have a comfy seat and surround sound and fucking 3D TV in your house
this
now.
is the problem though.
What?
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Because you
Tension.
it's your attention, but you can have the best setup at home. But I love films. The
What?
movie itself has to be fucking amazing to get your attention the whole way through.
Oh, so you think when people go to movies, they put their phone away? They
Yeah.
can't. It's obviously you can't use your phone, so
I don't think people
enjoy it more.
Maybe think that way, but I think that's the benefit of going to the cinema. Like whenever you like the expectation, I think you enjoy a film more in the cinema and than when you're watching house, because you're expecting this movie to do so much when you're watching it from home, because it has to keep your attention away from your phone. Whereas in the cinema you can't go on your phone, so you're just watching it.
Yeah.
So you're going to enjoy it more. So I find it really hard to watch stuff in the house.
And do you find it also because we can pause, rewind, fast forward shit now? That also, why like if you also if you watch a movie on like Channel 4 or Channel 5, you couldn't pause, rewind it. So you had to basically run the toilet during them breaks. So when you were actually there, you paid more attention to it.
Yeah.
Why now? If you miss something, you go, I can just rewind it back. Don't fucking rewind it back. Just fucking pay attention the whole way through it. Like, because that means it's going to disrupt the whole flow of the movie. The movie isn't made to be rewinded and paused.
No,
the movie is meant to be. It's an art form, 2 hours, hour and a half, whatever. Start to finish, just give it them 2 hours.
Yeah.
You've committed to it. You almost need to. For me, I've always said to you, I put my phone away, I throw it across the room, I leave it on the sofa, I don't go near it.
I try to do that too, and I always think I do that, but I always just reach for it.
It's really bad when football's on or some shit. You're like, oh fuck's sake, I don't want to watch this shit movie. I want to watch the football instead. But so I'm just really worried for the cinemas and all too. I'm hoping I'm wrong, because I'm hoping that the need and the want for cinemas will remain amongst people.
See, what I would say to you is you should take comfort in the fact that you're usually wrong. You'd be like,
I'm purposely being negative just because I wanna.
Because it's something you love.
Yeah, I don't want to take it away, and because the reason I think this is more worrying than probably maybe during the Spanish flu and stuff, it's because it's coincided with like streaming services and movies were almost like you seen I know The Irishman was released in cinemas for like a week or two, but it was released on Netflix, and a lot of people just watched it on Netflix.
Yeah, so did I did.
So did you actually? I saw it in cinemas, really good, far better in cinemas. Anyway, but you know that's coincided with this obviously the Netflix and stuff, and like Prime's been out for years now, but it's becoming a real problem in cinema. I think to the point where like Netflix, you get more freedom as a movie creator when you release a Netflix movie than a studio movie or like a cinema movie, because there's so much more money involved.
Which is why, like, in my opinion, a lot of the Netflix movies aren't that good.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you do.
Some are good.
Some are good, but the vast majority of movies that go on Netflix aren't good.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you do need a studio to go, right, no, you can't just make whatever you want, because that doesn't make sense. You need to change this. Sometimes you do need other people outside of outside of you, the director, to actually go, no, you can't. Because like when you restrict, but like I always think Jaws is my favorite movie, right? They had no money to make that movie, and they had to fucking do so many things. Spielberg had to do so many things, but it made it a great movie. Like,
it's almost like
you just have whatever you want. Like we probably would have got a fucking CGI fucking shark.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like you need to put so much importance on the dialect, on the characters, on the actors and stuff. But nowadays, like if you have an actor, you just put him in front of a green screen and put something behind him, and no one's really paying attention to what he's actually saying anymore. But yeah, I think you're right 100% about like I think a movie, the making of a movie, you've seen at the end credits of a movie, the fucking amount of people goes into it. So it's just a fucking so much moving parts to make a movie. And when you give someone a free roaming, which is good, I think sometimes that can allow for great creativity in a movie and a storyline and stuff we probably wouldn't have seen on the big screen. But again, I saw it with The Irishman, and I love The Irishman. I thought it was great. But again, if I was released in the cinema properly, that probably would have been cut down 45 minutes probably. Yeah. And it probably would have been a better movie. But do you think Netflix have the balls to go up to fucking Martin Scorsese and say, here, cut out 45 minutes? He's like, I'm Martin fucking Scorsese, you dick.
But the thing is with Netflix as well, like I think people don't realise how much debt that company's in.
They're
like,
fucked,
they
basically.
are in so much debt to the point where I don't know how it's going to level off. Like I don't know, because they've been so ambitious and they've been so like fucking trying to take over the movie industry, which is fair enough. It's what they're there to do, but like the bubble might burst on that too.
Do you think they should be more inclined to try to get movies in the cinema now, rather than just being?
I like that idea. I like the idea of Netflix being a production company and
that's what I mean. They should just make like the way the Irishman was, maybe, but do it with more movies.
Yeah,
because that means
but it does. It's
different avenue of income.
It just kind of goes against their business model, doesn't it? But like, because their business model is obviously streaming from
business models change all the time, you know what I mean? And the bad thing about Netflix, when you have the competitor like Amazon Prime is
fucking amazing,
and it makes probably no money because the Amazon make all their money from Amazon. From ordering shit. Yeah. So
say what you want about Amazon as a company, because I know they're probably a bit dodgy at some aspects of it, right? But see, when it comes to customer service, Amazon are fucking amazing. Like they get the other day I was ordering stuff online, and I had something in my basket, and I didn't even realize it was in my basket, and then I put through my order and paid for it all, and then I'm like, oh, it's already paid for. I looked at, why is it so dear? Fuck, I didn't realize I ordered that as well. I cancelled the order. 2 seconds later, money's back in your account.
Yeah.
Like they're really like, oh. Like their customer service and all, like they're really like, oh, you didn't do, accident, no problem, here's your money back. They don't question anything. They just, because they have so much money.
Yeah.
Like they're just so good with customers. Like I've never had, like whenever you order from Amazon, they're there like next day and all. And you're like, this is fucking mad.
But a part of me is just like, how can I order something one day and then get it delivered to my door the next day?
It's class.
Someone's getting fucked up. Someone's getting fucked over here. There's someone in a sweatshop in a fucking in a storeroom somewhere getting absolutely fucked over here. They're running to fucking get my package.
I get my shoes.
to get my fucking wire for my PlayStation. You know what I mean? It is.
That's the expectation that people have.
We benefit so much from it, but obviously they obviously are a dodgy company, and there's a lot of questions they need to be asked about them.
But I mean, if I need something,
if I get my
absolutely. If I need something by tomorrow, you're going to go to Amazon because it's what they do.
Yeah, I know.
It isn't on the consumer. I think the question that it's on the fucking government. And
it's on the government. It's more like more regulations, higher regulations and stuff. And if I have to wait 3 days for my package, and I know that Amazon are actually treating their staff right, I think I'll wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, but obviously we don't see what behind closed doors. We don't see what goes on Amazon. We don't see the fucking shit they do.
I ordered that new J.K. Rowling's novel, and it came 2 days, and and it literally just came out, and it's like sold out most places.
Guy came to the door sweating.
He's like,
here's package, Steve.
I was just like,
thanks, walk away.
I was like, holy shit, this is some real good service I'm getting out of Amazon. Like,
yeah, one of our mates actually, and not mention his name, he basically ordered was it a Switch off Amazon, and they came to the door, and he I don't know if it should tell you here actually. No, I shouldn't actually.
No, don't tell me.
No, I don't know if it does actually from him. Actually, I'll tell you after.
He's a crafty cockney, isn't he?
He's very crafty.
I was fidgeting out there with throw 4 darts.
Yeah.
200. Wait, hold on a minute.
You can explain what you're on about, but no one knows what's going on.
We just done a reaction to Mickey Flanagan's Dating a Cockney on thing. And watch it, it's fucking hilarious.
That's great. It's on. He just released it a few days ago. That's great. But yeah, our friend's a dodgy Belfast character now, fuck's sake. But I'll tell you after, it's really good. But it just shows you how much, basically, I can't tell you, can I? Fuck, it's actually really hard. How
much money Amazon have that they don't actually care?
Yeah, basically, give them a free Switch. There you go.
Like, do you ever sign up to like Audible or anything like Prime, and it's like 30-day free trial, and then like you maybe forget to cancel it, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day you cancel it, even though they should charge you, they just give you your money back. Or even if
you wait 3 months,
and they give you like, oh here, there you go, here's your money back, and you're like, really? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm like, you're so sound.
But it's because they're being dodgy somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like the nicest people in the world are always the dodgiest people, though. Like your neighbour's like, he's probably a fucking murderer, but he's so fucking nice.
So nice.
He fucking collects my fucking. He brings up my bins for me every day.
Yeah.
He has like 3 kids in the storeroom though.
I know.
That's dark, actually. Anyway, let's get off Amazon.
Watched Room recently.
Is it good?
Yeah. Do you know what? Like,
speaking
of kids in storages. It is good, right? Room.
Good segue, by the way. Really good segue. Well done for that.
It is a good movie, right? But it's the kind of movie that I was expecting. Like, do you care if I spoil Room?
No, I do want to watch it.
Do you know what it's about?
I know. I was going to watch it, and I was like put off because it's really dark in it. Did she get kidnapped and basically?
No, there is a light in the room. And
what? She gets kidnapped basically, and then she has the kid and all.
Yeah, it's like a Fritzl style thing. Like,
yeah,
that's what it's based on. It's based on Fritzl.
Yeah, Was it actually?
Yeah.
Oh god.
But it's not even that fucking.
Is it Brie Larson?
horrendous.
Is it Brie Larson?
Yeah, and she's really good in it, and it's a horrendous thing what happens there. But it's the movie itself, like. You watch it, and then after like 30 minutes, something big happens that you maybe expect to happen at the end of the movie.
Okay.
And then you're like, for the rest of the movie, you're like, so what's happening now?
Oh, okay.
It's just like to me, it felt like.
Well, she gets out basically.
Yeah. You don't spoil it, right?
No, she died. No,
that's
great.
So that's that. Like, fuck, I'm just gonna spoil it. I'm gonna shit, right? You're probably never gonna watch it.
Probably not.
But basically, this is what happens in the movie. Like, they get out. Her and the kid get out. But we were watching it, flicked on. It's like 30 minutes into the movie. They get out, right? And I was like, oh, this is class. I get to see them outside, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
But then the remaining part of the movie is them out,
And just living their lives, getting ice cream and all.
And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm just like, this should have been the remaining part of the movie should have been 10 minutes towards the end. Like, aliens?
What the fuck happened there? Alright. Apologies for this fucking interruption. This is not a really good podcast.
I don't know. What was I talking about?
Talking about Room.
So basically she gets out, right? She gets out about 35 minutes into the movie, and then there's a remaining bit about what happens and blah 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 and how that impacted their lives, and then they're trying to move on and stuff. But it was like one of those things where, to me, it should have been in the room struggling, gets out 10 minutes before the end, and then there's 10 minutes of them out, and then the movie ends. But it just kind of felt like, why am I still watching it? They're out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like,
isn't it not Room?
It's like
it should be called Out of the Room.
Out of the Room. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't think it's a true story, like, so.
Oh, yeah.
No,
that's great. But you think about it, like people think, oh, like even like Joseph Fritzl and that fucking.
Fucking hell, how do we start talking about Fritzl?
You brought The Room. That's based on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so people think, oh, they got out happy day. That's him. So like, they must be happy. They're scarred for life. And the most like the worrying, obviously, it's good they got out, but like, how are they gonna fucking go back into society and go back into that norm? You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's what they're maybe the movie.
You know, it is, and that's what it is. Does try to portray, but it's just like.
It wasn't a Hollywood
when you
movie
watch
for you, like,
when you watch the movie of them in the room, and then 30 minutes later they're out of the room, and then the remaining hour and a half, I think, is like them just living their lives, and like obviously there's a court case and all, and like it's interesting, it's good and all, but it's just like I kind of thought they'd be in the room, they get out 10-15 minutes before the end, and then we'd see like boom boom boom.
Yeah, you're
like why is she not Captain Marvel?
You're like, deep down I'm happy they're outside the room, but I literally watched this movie on the pretense that they were going to be in the room for longer. Like, I was in my room for longer watching the movie. I was like, fucking on, mate.
They were out 7 years in front of us, but
is this the movie where they like took them 7 years to make? No, is that
no? That's Boy.
Oh, Boy, that one.
No, it's not Boy.
Boyhood, Boyhood, no.
Boyhood, Manhood.
No, that's getting picked up now.
It's something like that.
So Captain Marvel wasn't a good movie, was it?
Captain Marvel. I do like her acting though.
She's Brit. She's Brit.
She's great as well.
Yeah, she's a great actor.
Yeah.
She's Chris.
There we go.
Yeah, Joseph Fritzl, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. Yeah, it's a good wee segue. Yeah. It fits. Yeah, I didn't like Captain Marvel at all.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I thought it was shite. I thought it wasn't necessary. But no, yeah, I've always wanted to watch The Room or Room.
What's on that? You need to watch one movie. You need to watch is Watchmen.
I watched it. I told you I watched it.
You didn't?
I watched half it years ago.
Watch all of it. It's on Netflix. Watch it today.
But the first half wasn't good. So
the first half was amazing. Come on, man! Don't go in that mindset of you. I know you because I'm telling you to watch this movie. You're going to go in with the mindset of I'm going to.
Have you watched any movie I suggested to you?
Yeah.
What?
Maybe one movie that I haven't watched.
The Room. There you go.
I watched it.
You haven't watched The Room yet?
I have watched it. It's one of the worst movies ever made.
You think it because you seen fucking.
Oh well, that's hipster to like The Room now. Fuck.
Oh, there you go. Like no, I always think it's so bad. Not so bad. I should have watched it. I know I should, but there's so much fucking movies out there to watch. See the amount of people. I have 5 older brothers, and every one of them is saying, "You should watch this. You should watch this. Have you watched this yet?" No, I don't fucking time. There's a book out. It's called like, what was it? 1,001 movies you need to watch before you die. It takes like 30 years to watch all the movies. What the fuck? I can't watch them. You can't watch them. Sorry.
I know you can't.
You can't. So sorry, Steve. I'm not gonna watch them probably ever.
Fair enough. That's fine. But you should watch it.
Yeah, I should watch it. Yeah,
it's on Netflix. Really good movie. Way ahead.
I'll watch it if you watch Rise of Skywalker again.
I'm never gonna watch that movie ever again.
There you go.
Are you gonna watch that movie ever again? No, it's all serious. I'm not even trying to take a piss out of the film. Would you watch that movie again?
Yeah.
I
bought the DVD. I did actually have a Blu-ray.
Really?
Yeah, well...
Did you actually, in all seriousness, get what you wanted out of that movie?
No, I didn't get what I wanted from that whole trilogy, but I was happy enough which way it ended. You know what I mean? I don't know what... Because they couldn't do a fucking 180 and fucking change the whole. We're already 2 movies in at that point. You know what I mean? There was so much fucked up in Last Jedi that Rise of Skywalker was already on the back foot. Not on the back foot, the back foot.
Yeah.
It was so far behind that it's almost just trying to satisfy the fans by bringing Lando Calrissian into it again and bringing all these people. You know what I mean? Having action scenes and having like horses running Star Destroyers.
I was watching like I don't know, what was that about, man? I was watching like a video the other day, and it was basically apparently she was supposed to be a Kenobi. Like that was the original plan in the first movie. Rey was going to be a Kenobi, and then the second movie they didn't know what to do, and in the third movie they changed her to a Palpatine. And I'm like, that's just a mess. Like, that's just a mess.
Because the Palpatine thing wasn't bad. See, they went in.
Don't like the idea of Palpatine bucking someone though.
Or maybe do it in a way where she was created by Palpatine. Palpatine created these clones or some shit, and she was one of them. I don't know, something like that. But they went into that trilogy with that in mind. I think it would have been about better trilogy. Yeah, because they kept like flip flopping how to do is who to please. Do we please the fans or do we please?
And then people's complaint obviously about Rey in the first one was she was just too good at everything. But if we knew she was a Palpatine, then you would understand that she was good at everything. You'd be like, that wouldn't be an issue. You'd be like, well, she's going to be good. She's a Palpatine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like you're like, right? That's whenever you're watching Rey, you're like, but you've watched movies of the Force, and even Luke didn't get it this good. I'm like, well, fuck.
But then the problem with like the prequels or Anakin was that good.
I bet you knew who he was.
Yeah, sure, but he's still that good, like.
No, but it's like.
But we all deep down knew Rey was going to be someone.
Yeah, we knew that, but Anakin, which I did, but it did piss me off about Anakin. But Anakin, I mean, if
sounds like you're saying Mannequin.
Anakin. Is anyone shocked that Darth Vader as a kid is good at the Force? Not really.
How do you think if you had the chance to go back and J.J. Abrams and fucking was it Kathleen Kennedy came up to you and said, "Do you hear, Stephen? How do you think this trilogy should go? Where should we focus on?"
I would love to have done something just outside. I don't think they should have done anything to do with Skywalker.
Okay, but there are the story is this trilogy has to be a Skywalker. We're closing the Skywalker book with these 3 trilogies. Go.
I would just say, well, if you don't want to do anything outside Skywalker, I don't want to know.
We're paying you millions of pounds here, Stephen.
So I have loads of money. I've got a really successful podcast.
You had Jarrah Williams on you.
Sorry, Kathleen. Are you going to pay for his coffee or not?
Firstly, I would bring Jarrah Williams on, and then do sort of Hitler getting out of Nazi Germany, and
I think
after World War II.
I think I like the idea of some of the stuff that they tried to do. I don't know. It's not to say like because I don't know. It doesn't mean
no. I mean like no. I'm just trying to think actually because I like all the actors. I like John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver. Great cast. Yeah. Happy enough with that there. You know what I mean?
Just wish they had to give him something to do.
Yeah, and I think Adam Driver was great throughout it. I don't think he was a problem. I think he was fine as Ben Solo and as Kylo Ren. The bad thing about Kylo Ren's character, which I thought basically his whole arc and his whole storyline was basically completed within Force Awakens. Yeah. The way he almost flip flop back to the good side and then he kills Han Solo was like that was amazing. That should have been stretched out maybe over the whole thing, and Han Solo should have been killed at maybe the last one or something. And maybe Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Luke Skywalker should have been in the same room for at least one scene. Yeah, they were never in a scene together.
I know that was bad. I didn't like the way that Han had his whole arc, and then next thing you know he falls out with Leia and he's a fucking smuggler again. I'm like, no, what? Like no, he's capturing aliens on a ship. It's like what? That's not where we left this character.
I know. And whenever Princess Leia and Han Solo meet up again, they're all like all lovely dovely. I'm like, oh, he's not like falling out. He walked away from me for years, and your son's a Dark Lord now. You not should be fighting here. They're like a lovely. So I'm like, I didn't like that.
The Luke thing was all wrong. All wrong. Yeah. I mean, I don't even mind the idea of Luke being fed up with the Force and stuff, but it was just all wrong. Him being on this island and then
drinking milk.
Yeah, that was all wrong, and we should have seen a more badass Luke probably.
Yeah. We should have seen Luke's in the flashbacks. No, the flashback scenes where he's trying to kill Kylo Ren. I'm like, fuck, that's class. I want to see more of that, please, sir. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I do think they've done a bit of disservice to that character too. Like, I just think the whole thing was a mess.
Do you think it was just because they spent so much money on it, they just needed to release things as soon as possible?
Maybe. No, I think they had plenty of time to plan this thing.
I think so, yeah.
I just think they just...
But I mean, like, they didn't really...
I think it's hard to make a movie.
But, like, when you make a movie, and Disney have never made a Star Wars movie before, I know they had Lucasfilm, but it's again, like, the people who made... Even the people who made the the prequels have changed a lot since these ones. But then the prequels weren't that well received financially. They made a lot of money, but they didn't break fucking. They didn't break cinema. They didn't redefine cinema the way that the original Star Wars did. So if you're trying to make the original Star Wars again, or make something that capacity, you need to fucking have the same people.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And then when you have Disney trying to make that again, it's so fucking hard. So you need to fucking spend a good many years trying to get it right. I feel like they released a movie within 2 years, didn't they?
I also didn't like the idea of we're doing a new trilogy. I'm like, right, I get it, Star Wars do trilogies or whatever, but we're making a new Star Wars movie. Let's try and make one good movie, right? And if it's really, really good, we'll make the second movie, we'll make the third movie. We'll do it more organically rather than we're making 3 movies, boom, different directors, boom, 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 boom. This is what we're doing. And you're like, could you not have just announced a Star Wars movie? We all would have got excited. Just watch the good Star Wars movie, and then if we had thought it was really good, and we're excited, there's another one coming out, great. And rather than it's almost like they announce this and we're all waiting for it to finish or something. It's like, well, we're getting 3 of these, and they're all different directors. It's like, why? Yeah. It's just why? It felt just like a big fucking weird experiment. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, imagine Lord of the Rings went, Peter Jackson's going to do the first one. What? Imagine Lord of the Rings just went, Peter Jackson's going to do the first one. We're going to get fucking Spielberg and do the second one. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Unless you're trying to change the theme of the whole movies, but they didn't really change the theme. The theme said is actually
should have been the same director.
Yeah, no, should have been. Yeah, I think you should have give J.J. Abrams the whole trilogy. Yeah. Of course, yeah, you're right. I think they could have went with like Rogue One first. Then maybe went for a Solo, and then went for something else.
Just make a Star Wars.
And then after about 5, 6 years, 10 years, maybe they go, "Oh, we're going to do a trilogy now."
They just right, we're making 9 new movies here, and you're like, just announce you're making a Star Wars movie. We're going to make a new Star Wars movie. Don't even give us that much details, and then release a Rogue One trailer. Boom. Then we don't even know there's a fucking trilogy that they're planning down the line. Let's just get excited. Star Wars, watch that, and then boom, another one.
But they want to create talk. I mean, when they spent all that money to buy Lucasfilm off George Lucas, they needed to recoup some of that money instantly. So they needed to almost get Star Wars fans. Star Wars fans, can you think about it? Like, since when Revenge of the Sith came out in 2004, was it? And then Lucasfilm was bought over by Disney in 2012 or something. So it's a good time. A lot of people, I'm sure you.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe it was 14.
So a lot of people probably not forgot about Star Wars, but it wasn't really like the main thing anymore. The way like Marvel, because Marvel took over at that point. So you felt like they almost needed to recoup some of that money instantly by creating conversations, by creating excitement, buying new trilogy. And I know when the trilogy was announced, we were buzzing. So
I get it, but I think
they shouldn't have done that. Yeah, they shouldn't have done it, but you can see why they done it. Yeah, that's a bad thing when they buy something for like 6 billion, was it, or whatever it was, 7 billion? I don't know. Fucking a lot of money.
I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian second season though.
You see the trailer?
Good, yeah, I liked it. It looked quite good.
Where do you think it's going to go though? Like how deep in the Star Wars world do you think it's going to go? I think it's going to, because they mentioned Jedis again in the trailer. Do you think it's going to bring back someone, or
maybe? I'm not even that interested in that. I just want to see a good story, mate. That's all. Like, I think whenever you talk about Star Wars and people immediately think about trying to pull in Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and we're constantly trying to link it. Just make a good story. If it fits, if your story's heading in a direction where someone like a Han Solo or a Jedi makes sense, then that's fine. But don't make that a big thing. I think that's a mistake that they've made. They constantly just kept trying to like, look at this guy, look at this guy, look at this guy. Yeah. Just make something good.
And it's also as well, like when you take into consideration how big that universe, the galaxy actually is, I feel like
you make it smaller when you just go.
Yeah, everyone's connected. Everyone runs into each other. It's like, why are you running into someone? Like, I get barely running into anyone in Belfast. I know, never mind running a galaxy. So
far
maybe, but maybe if you talked about what's going on, maybe, or like, do you know like the fucking the Last Order starter or some shit? Just mention it, and that's it. Don't need to fucking be the.
It's like in the first storyline. In New Hope, whenever Obi-Wan mentions the Clone Wars, he's literally mentions the Clone Wars, and you're like,
what happened there? I want to know.
And then years later, they go, we can pick threads and be like, well, people already know about this because they make something. Although obviously they didn't do it well, but they made a good TV show. Yeah. But like they obviously didn't do it well. But that's an example. Like, see the whole idea of we should get a solo movie. No, that's watch The Mandalorian, right? And say there's a cool character that comes up in The Mandalorian over 4 or 5 seasons. Maybe give him a movie. Maybe do it like that. It's like, oh fuck that. Then that gets people excited rather than going, let's make a Yoda movie. They're like, no, let's make a
Boba Fett movie. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. But again,
let's make a Cantina TV show about the bar.
I am just a bit sick of Star Wars.
Cheers or some shit, or Happy Days. All the characters from like a New Hope. They all like have like long storylines and all. Like their marriage problems or trying to get into university.
Owen's just fucking giving off about his life.
You know what I mean? Like,
power converters and all.
You know what I mean? There wasn't that there. Like, but that's the way it was going for a bit there. To be fair, I do think they've reacted well. They cancelled all the trilogies. Like the was it? You call the guy Rand Johnson, is it? Mm-hmm. They cancelled his trilogy. Yeah, they cancelled the trilogy from Game of Thrones, guys. So maybe they've reacted well, and they've obviously are focusing more on TV shows like Mandalorian. But Kenobi's only going to be one series, one season, which I find a bit weird.
But I don't mind that. Make one season, and if there's a demand for it and we all love it, they'll make another season.
And plus, my brother made a good point. It's like you can't do that much. You can't do too much in the Kenobi. Because
we know exactly how he ends, where he goes.
You can't do, is he gonna die? Oh no! Or he doesn't die because we know. Why? What's the Mandalorian? You're like, he could die here any minute. You know.
He won't. But
he won't though. Yeah. But yeah, Mandalorian looks fucking class. To be fair, so excited about that.
The first season was brilliant.
You're gonna get a rewatch before you?
I think about it because they're really short episodes, aren't they? They're like 20 minutes long.
One was 10 minutes actually. felt like it. I felt like it only started one.
I know.
See, when the ending came up, I felt like, oh, is this like the intro? I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Why are you so short? I wanted you to be an hour or 2 hours long. But it does feel like it's probably the closest thing that's actually felt like a Star Wars like movie since Star Wars probably. You know what I mean? Like even like I was a big fan of Force Awakens, but didn't feel like a Star Wars movie.
I was as well. I enjoyed that movie, but because the other two are poor, it doesn't make me ever want to watch that movie.
Yeah, because we always said that like if Force Awakens was the worst it got, we assumed it's gonna be it's gonna get even better. But that was the best it got. It's like, this isn't really that good then. Yeah, you know what I mean? But there you go. Star Wars is. I don't know, it's almost like a laughing stock now, Star Wars.
Whenever you have more bad movies and good movies in your whole catalogue of films, and it's just like it's hard for me to say because I'm such a Star Wars fan, but most movies are shit.
You almost want them. You almost want them to stop making things.
Yeah.
So you actually enjoy Star Wars then.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you can't enjoy Star Wars because they're releasing things every week.
I know, but I guess I mean, I always say because new stuff.
Mandalorian. Fuck it. He's cute as fucking now. Look at his face. Oh, look at Yoda as well. Baby Yoda, the child.
Yeah, Star Wars and shit.
Yeah, wrap it up there.
Wrap it up.
That's episode 119.
Fucking 19, holy shit.
You are now listening to MCPodcasting.